Hi, it's Lex here, and simply I'm going to be talking about a situation that happened 3 years ago. However, looking back at this situation, we failed to realize what the actual problem was. And so the gotcha community was really sensitive and just flat out finger pointed instead of looking at the actual major issue of the whole entire thing. So today's topic is going to be about the 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 aka Zaiph0be or 𝐕0be controversy. If you weren't really one of the people who's been in the gotcha community ever since the earlier times, then you probably wouldn't know exactly who I'm talking about. However, if you've been around for super long, you would know who I'm talking about. So 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 at the time was at least around 14 to 16 years old. In the very beginning, they ended up having their original channel, which was 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵, hacked, and unfortunately, they ended up having to make a new channel. But within that same year, they ended up gaining 138k subscribers. So it didn't take long for their channel to get to the place that it was at. So pretty much this had all happened within the time span of late July and early August of 2021. And pretty much Zai had uploaded a video stating that he was getting harassed and that he was pretty much scared and wanted to get help, because at the time, if somebody was receiving harassment like this, obviously you would try to get help from other people, knowing that these types of harassments was not okay. And instead of people paying attention to the fact that 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 or Zaiph0be was getting harassed, they were bringing up the fact that he changed his pronouns when they were originally she, her, or she, they, and they were just talking about the stuff that wasn't really the bigger issue, when the bigger issue was that 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 was being harassed. And they were also pointing out the fact that 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 didn't censor anything, which also is a thing that could be an issue. However, here's one thing. YouTube Kids is originally 13 years old. So instead of people paying attention to the fact that he was getting harassed, they were talking about the things that were quite minor. Also, people were saying that he was venting for clout and making mockery of his trauma, and obviously this right here was not okay. And the fact that the gotcha community was cancelling a person over not censoring their vent and pretty much changing his pronouns was the dumbest thing I've heard of. Why, sure, censoring your things is important, but let's look at the bigger picture on where this person was getting rape threats and pretty much wishing rape upon Zaiph0be and just making fun of their trauma. That is the bigger issue of this situation, rather than somebody's pronouns and not really censoring something. Eventually, he ended up leaving the YouTube platform due to the amount of harassment and backlash he received based off of not censoring anything, along with the fact that he decided to quit because of the harassment and due to his mental health. Now, looking back at this was later a proof that the gotcha community, number one, was too sensitive, and number two, nobody paid attention to the actual problem and brushed them off and cancelled someone who clearly needed help. And now, till this present day, people still do things like this, and they would pay attention to the least minor problem of a situation rather than the bigger picture, and then this person would get harassed way more than what they were already receiving. And because of a situation like this could have taken a dark ass turn, considering the fact that number one, 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 or Zaiph0be was extremely young, and number two, people were harassing 𝐴𝐻𝐸𝐵 based off of not censoring their vent when they were clearly bringing out something that was going on that was extremely serious. And two, saying that they were venting for clout and being pressed about someone changing their pronouns. It just goes through a deep rabbit hole that was very unnecessary, to be fair. And honestly, nobody deserves this type of treatment. And I really hope that Zaiph0be is doing well right now. And that is pretty much all I'm going to talk about today as far as this topic. And I hope everyone have a great day or night.